Good morning. Welcome to the Igniting the Spark series. My name is Manpriya Awadi. I'm a senior paralegal here at Ignition. Today, I'm joined by Paul Barker, director at Paul Barker Estate Agents. Welcome, Paul. How are you doing today?
Really well, really well. Yeah, thank you for inviting me on. Looking forward to having a chat.
We're very excited to learn more about you, the company, and your experience with working with us. So I'll just get straight to the questions. So briefly, tell me about what your business does and its purpose.
Yeah, of course. So we're a family-owned independent estate agents in St Albans in Hertfordshire. And we've been running for about 8 years in St Albans. We operate a sort of a or we set out as a kind of hybrid estate agent. So traditionally, estate agents are often just kind of high street chains. And I saw a bit of a gap in the market where there could be a sort of hybrid version where it's not a kind of purple bricks running from a call centre somewhere. So we have an office. We are in the middle of the city centre, but we just don't have a shop front. So we're able to offer competitive kind of fees, but offering exactly the same service with the same experience.
So, what originally sparked the idea to start up this business?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I've been an estate agent for about 25 years and had obviously worked for other companies locally. And I could see in kind of 2016, 17, 18 that fewer and fewer people were coming into the office and things. People were emailing, were calling. People don't have time to go around and kind of register with estate agents historically. Saturdays always used to be our busy day, and we'd have kind of queues of people coming in to sit in a shop, and we'd fill out a card and put it in a card box and do that kind of thing. And it just wasn't happening anymore. So fewer people were coming in. So I could see a bit of a gap in the market to offer a kind of different service to clients. And that kind of prompted me to set up the business.
I see. So, what's been the toughest challenge you've faced so far?
Well, I set up in 2018, and things were going wonderfully in 2018 and 19 as we were establishing the business. And then COVID happened, which obviously affected a lot of
Yeah.
businesses over that period. I mean, we were very lucky that as an estate agent, we were part of a kind of select few companies who were able to continue to operate. So we had sales and transactions going through. So it was lucky that we were able to continue to do that. We were allowed to do viewings and things like that as well, where other firms weren't allowed to kind of operate. So that was a really challenging market. The Liz Truss mini budgets, notorious budgets, that was a challenge because off the back of that, interest rates all went up, which affects people's mortgages and their ability to move and higher inflation. So I think probably the Liz Truss budget and COVID have been our two toughest moments so far. But we've come through those, we've evolved, and yeah, the kind of business is good.
So, in terms of advice, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs and leaders?
I think if you've got a good idea and you're passionate about it, just to go for it. There's never a perfect time to set up a business, but if you've got a motivation and a drive, you've just got to go for it. You can never foresee what's going to be coming down the road, and you've just got to be flexible. You've got to be able to adapt. But if you've got a passion for whatever business you're in, plan it as much as you can. Just go for it, really.
Thank you. And what achievement are you most proud of and why?
Yeah, I guess there's a couple of things really. I mean, we're based in St Albans, which is a very big commuter city, just kind of north of London. Lots of people move out from London to St Albans to kind of move back to work back into London in the city and things. Really, I think there's over 20 estate agents who operate in the city. So it is quite a competitive market. But over the 8 years that we've been operating, we've now kind of established ourselves as I guess the second most successful agent out of those 20, which is really good from a standing start 8 years ago. So that's something that I'm kind of proud of. Just to offer a kind of really good, personal, friendly, honest service to people. We get lots of repeat business as well, which is another really kind of important feature for us, that if people have had a good service, they tell friends, they tell family. I mean, there's one couple that over the course of being an estate agent, I think I've sold 6 houses for them. They're perennial movers, so they're good for estate agents and things really. But again, they know they're going to get honest, decent service. So customer service, I think, in any business is key, and even more so in estate agency.
No, that's definitely really true. So, what one piece of advice would you share with your younger self if you were doing it all over again?
I mean, it's a big learning curve operating a business and certainly one from scratch. So I think not to kind of settle for second best, I think, is probably the thing I'd tell my younger self. We partner with other firms. We have photographers who do our kind of photography. We have people who help with our social media. I think if you've got a vision and you've got an aim, not to settle for second best. So if something's not working for you, make a change, look for other partners who are going to work as hard and as
Oh,
diligently as we do to make sure people are getting the best experience,
that's
really.
really, really good advice. And what led you to work with Ignition Law?
So my wife is actually a senior consultant in the corporate and employee team at Ignition Law. She worked in the city for another firm for a number of years. And she joined Ignition Law and absolutely loves it. She says a fantastic company to work for. I guess there's a bit of a synergy between my business and her business and Ignition Law, where it is obviously they've got the office, but it is more hybrid working to a degree. So she's had a fantastic experience working for them, and through that, I've used their services on a couple of different occasions, and found it to be a fantastically positive experience.
So, how did
Mm.
Ignition support you through this, and what difference did we make?
Yeah, so I think it's a people business, like most businesses. So the people we've used on the commercial property, Lauren O'Sullivan has acted for us on a commercial purchase, and she just offered really clear, sensible, honest advice. And was very, very thorough. Nothing was too much trouble. We've also worked with Nikki Cranfield in the employment side of the business, and again, she's been invaluable in helping us when we've had staffing situations that needed to be managed kind of carefully. So again, it's just really good, sensible advice from the people at Ignition Law, and I wouldn't kind of hesitate to recommend them to friends and other people who might need their services.
And what do you value most about working with the Ignition team?
Again, probably, similar comments that I've just made there. I just think it's having somebody whose professional advice and experience I can really rely on and trust. Because obviously, in the law firm, it is experience and know-how
Yeah.
is what I'm looking for. And as I say, to have that nice, calm influence, solid advice, and it's really kind of helped in two different fields that I've used them for, and I'm sure there will be others in there in the future as well. So, yeah, really good advice, really nice, friendly people.
That's always really nice to hear, such kind words. So, in terms of keeping yourself motivated,
And my wife obviously does a
she
great job
does, she
as
does.
well. Yeah.
So now, beyond work, what keeps you motivated and your spark alive?
I think it's helping clients and things when people are moving house. It's one of their biggest transactions they're ever going to do, and it's quite an emotional roller coaster for a lot of clients. So I get a bunch of being entrusted to help them with their property journey, whether that's kind of downsizing, upsizing, because there's a growing family. So yeah, being entrusted and helping people move is what I really love. And the buzz of closing a deal, whenever we get to negotiate on a house and, do the best for our clients, there's a buzz that comes from that. And that's never faded over the 25 years. I get as much joy from doing it now as I did when I first started. So that's probably one of the more positive ones. And also, personally, from a business point of view, because I also live in St Albans and work here, we have for sale and sold boards out around town. I've got two young sons, and whenever we kind of drive past one of our boards, my youngest son goes, "Oh, there's a daddy board," and that gives people kind of shiver and things because he's proud of what we're doing and things really.
Now, in terms of any books, videos, TED Talks, quote, or a single piece of advice,
Mm.
would you share? What kind of advice would you share with our SM community?
There was a book actually that I read a good few years ago that's always kind of stuck with me. And it's called "Eat That Frog," which sounds a bit strange. It's not about
Uh,
kind of eating frogs' legs or anything like that, but it's about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I've heard
don't. Sorry,
about
you
it.
read it, did
Yeah.
you? Yeah, really positive. So it's about obviously the thought of eating a frog is horrible and it's something you don't want to do, but if you have to do it, it's all about
Mm.
just getting on with it. You know, you've got it there, you've got to eat it. So the analogy then in a working environment, if you've got something unpleasant or something you don't particularly want to do that you've got to do that day, rather than dwell on it for a couple of hours or put it off and subconsciously you're still thinking about it, the best thing to do is get on, get it done as the first thing you do that day, and then it's out of the way and you can move on with other tasks that are going to be more
Yeah.
pleasant or more enjoyable, really. So it's getting the horrible thing or the painful thing or the tricky thing out of the way as early as possible rather than dwelling on it and using up energy on it.
A really useful piece of advice. So thank you so much, Paul. It was great having you today. I am sure our listeners have learned a lot about you and the company because I certainly have. And also, thank you so much for choosing us. We really enjoy working with you and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.